Hello YouTubers, and welcome to the Retro Computer Kid Chris channel. And this is a very special video today because I've got my very first retro system, and here it is. It's a Sinclair ZX Spectrum Plus 2B. The reason why I say Model 2B, which will be explained in this video coming up, in this next little review of me waffling on about the technical specifications, previous models of this model, and also I'm quite surprised that this is a power transformer. It's in really good condition. Fortunately, it didn't come in with any games, but you can get them cheap on eBay anyway, so, and off sites and stuff. But it is, you get them off certain sites. They speed up the loading time, but that's not really. It doesn't feel like a Spectrum if you're not waiting for about 10 hours for it to load. Not really. If you only spend waiting for about a couple of 20 minutes for it to load up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm quite happy I've got this. Really am. Anyway, here's the review. The ZX Spectrum Plus 2 was Amstrad's first Spectrum, coming shortly after their purchase of the Spectrum range and the Sinclair brand in 1986. The machine featured an all-new grey case featuring a spring-loaded cassette, dual joystick ports, and a built-in cassette recorder dubbed a data recorder, which I think that's quite clever how they've done it. They've not kept it all like tape recorder. They've put it data recorder. So in other words, you could actually save data on there, which I'll show you a bit more after I've made a bit more information. And like the Amstrad CPC 464, but was in more respects identical to the ZX Spectrum 128, the main menu screen lacked the Spectrum 128's tape test option, and the ROM was altered to account for the new 1986 Amstrad copyright message. These changes resulted in minor incompatibility problems with software that accessed ROM routines at certain addresses. Production costs had been reduced, and the retail dropped to £149. The new keyboard did not include the basic keyword markings that were found on earlier Spectrums, except for the keywords load, code, and run, which were useful for loading software. This was not a major issue, however, as the Plus 2 boasted a menu system almost identical to the ZX Spectrum 128, where one could switch between 48K basic programming with keywords and 128K basic programming, in which all words and keywords survived must be typed out in full, although the keywords are still stored internally as one character each. Despite these changes, the layout remained identical to that of the 128. Basically, the ZX Spectrum 2A Plus 2A was produced to homogenize Amstrad's range in 1987. Although the case reads ZX Spectrum Plus 2, the Plus 2 and Plus 2A stroke B is easily distinguishable from the original Plus 2, as the case was restored to the standard Spectrum black. Hence, that's why it's a blacky colour. That's because they've restored it back to the original Spectrum's black plastic looks like. So that's purely for the reason. So this one I've got is actually they've changed it from the grey one, and it's now this is black. This was like the latterly made one, which was made later on. The plus 2A was derived from Amstrad's plus 3.41 ROM model using a new motherboard which was vastly reduced the chip count, integrating many of them into a new ASIC. The 2A replaced the plus 3's disk drive and associated hardware with a tape as in the original plus 2. Originally, Amstrad planned to introduce an additional disk interface, but this never happened. If an external disk drive was added, the plus 2A on the System OS menu would change to plus 3, as with the ZX Spectrum plus 3. Some older 48K and a few older 128K games were incompatible with the machine. The ZX Spectrum plus 2B signified a manufacturing move to Hong Kong to Taiwan later in 1987. Hence, what you can make out on the back of the system, because I can just see it. I do apologise for the slight herringbone interference effect on the screen, as you can see. So all it needs is a new video cable lead. So I mean that's not a problem. Fortunately, this didn't come with any games, but you know what I mean. What can you do? Incidentally, I'm quite chuffed at it because it's got calculator. You can do 2 forms of programming anyway, so it's all good, and I'm quite happy.